On this adventure with Lukimyu,
10:30 at night, 25 knots of wind. We're in a shipping channel. We've got this fuel starvation problem again.
I know you're actually not having fun, so you can stop smiling. We are motoring down Hervey Bay on the inside of Fraser Island. I'm sure the channel's called something, don't know what it is. To anchor probably as far south as we can get. We're going to have a look at the Wide Bay Bar, which is a pretty infamously known bar for bad weather, bad conditions. And the general consensus is you cross it at high tide, which we've done before. We're going to have a look at it about 2 hours after low tomorrow. It'll be daylight, and it's been really, really calm weather for the last couple of days, and the tidal change tomorrow is really small. So we're going to have a look at it. If it looks okay, we'll continue on. If it doesn't look okay, we'll turn around, anchor down for a couple of hours, and then head out at 2 o'clock, which is high tide. And then work our way down to Brisbane. It's meant to be quite sporty tomorrow afternoon and Tuesday, up to 30 knot winds. But they are going in our direction, which is unusual for us. So it probably means we'll be driving because it will be dead downwind, and that will be too windy to put the spinnaker up. But maybe we'll make good progress, and hopefully it won't rain too much. Lots of fingers crossed for what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah, but otherwise today, beautiful day, lovely conditions to drive down a channel.
We are navigating the waterway on the inside of Fraser Island, the world's largest sand island. And if you have a look at the screen, it's about to get seriously shallow.
well, they're either not concerned about the depth or don't draw a great deal.
Shallow, Tony?
Yeah, got down to 0.8 under keel a minute ago. And we're losing our light. We've probably only got an hour and a half left of our light. But this should only be half an hour through this really shallow bit.
Gonna need you to do a bit of reversing, darling. I think we could call that a hold. That lurch. What do you think, darling?
It's holding really well. We stopped suddenly as soon as it was grabbing.
Love the new improved anchor. Not new, improved, fixed.
New chain?
Yeah, no, the chain doesn't do anything. It was the anchor that's fixed. All right, let's get in out of the sandflies.
Safely secured for the night, it was time to have some dinner and go to bed.
It is 5:15. No, it's not. It's 5:45, which is 4:45. We are going to see if we can do a bar crossing this morning and start heading down to Brisbane. If we get in about midnight tonight, we might miss the storm. If we don't, we get in at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, then we're probably going to be sailing through a pretty strong sort of storm system. But it's a beautiful morning.
So we're only having a look at the bar.
We're only having a look, but if it's good, we're going.
If we can get through the bar today at low tide, we've then got an 86 nautical mile trip to the entrance, followed by 24 nautical miles of shipping channel.
Have a look at this. So there are waypoints to follow to get out over this bar crossing. It'll take us about an hour, we think. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, it looks pretty good so far, but it'll still be an hour of butt clenching. Bars are never good. Still good.
And their breakers way off to the right.
Way off, not as close as yours on the left though.
All in all, so far it's pretty good. I've still got about 3 nautical miles to go.
It's the last bit that's bad. It's the last half an hour that's shallow and tricky. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going to start getting shallow soon. We're at 9 metres, we'll get down to from the lowest point about 3. But it's pretty good conditions. It is rolly, obviously, there are waves, but you know, in the scheme of things, with this bar, this is very acceptable.
That's clearly a wave.
That is definitely a wave. How's the depth?
4.3, 4.2, 4.1. Now we're starting to gain some depth. 10 metres. That will very shortly become 15, 20, etc.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Better than the last time we did it on a rising high tide. This is 2 hours after low tide, with 5 or 6 days previous of quite calm weather conditions, which we took into account. Low swell and good visibility because of a timing perspective. And also there was a very small amount of tidal movement overnight, so we were hoping when we came and had a look that it looked like this. And all those things put together, it worked. So, good on us. And that gives us a 4 or 5 hour jump start on our trip down the coast today, which we may well need because there's some high winds coming and potentially a thunderstorm after midnight. So if we could get in before midnight, win-win, and we get to go to bed. That's win-win-win. Happy campers. We're through.
Yeah, we're through. So we did quite a bit of research before coming through and put out the question on a few different forums.
Facebook, never a good idea. Well, it's not true. Sometimes they can give you really good information and sometimes you just get a whole lot of criticism, including if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be going across the bar. And it wasn't that I didn't know what we were doing, I was just asking a variety of questions, crowdsourcing information. And if the whole point of having a Cruising Queensland Facebook page is not that you can ask questions without being ridiculed, I don't know what the point is. And some people on there gave us really good advice without the ridicule.
I think half a dozen countries and 13,000 nautical miles is dipping our toe in the water. But we did research it, and there were a few people who said, oh look, we've done it at low tide, and if the conditions are right, you know, you can certainly do it. Then we spoke to our friends Ken and Megan, who are super experienced. And they essentially said, if you leave about 2 hours after low tide, then the momentum of the water is stopped so you don't get those peaky waves. And in the right conditions, you can go out pretty well anytime. And, you know, today we've got 5 to 6 knots of wind from the north-northeast. It's been really calm overnight, so there hasn't been a huge amount of, you know, there isn't big swells or anything from the east. And exactly as Ken said, you know, it was totally fine. So
And Mexi.
And Mexi, yeah, they both said the same thing. Thank you, Ken and Megan. Great advice. Well worth doing.
Yes, indeed. We've crossed the bar 2 hours after low tide, which means there's got to be some people out there, especially you Queenslanders, who've got an opinion about crossing a bar, especially the Wide Bay Bar, a couple of hours after low tide. So we'd love to hear your comments, or if you've done it and it's worked really well, or if you've tried to do it and it hasn't worked so well for you, pop them down below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you know anyone that would be interested in a Wide Bay Bar crossing, then share it with those people. Thanks. Finally, engine's off, spinnaker up, doing about 7.5 knots, gets us in around midnight tonight. Doesn't look like there's a storm coming anymore, or rain anyway. So, happy days.
Denise has gone inside to have a sleep, and we are absolutely humming along. We've got about 12 knots of apparent, doing about 8 knots of boat speed.
Don't know if there's an X on the map where I'm supposed to be, or I'm floating without any gravity. Close my eyes tight.
In order to navigate the tight twists and turns of the shipping channel, we had to drop the spinnaker and turn on the engines.
That is a very big ship on its way towards us in the shipping channel. And you can barely see it on the screen. However, it is about 2.5 minutes away. That is a big ship doing 18 knots.
It's about to be dark. It's still blowing 25 knots. 2 to 3 metre seas. Very unpleasant. 6 hours to go.
Yes, only 6 more hours of this.
I know you're actually not having fun, so you can stop fucking smiling.
With the wind coming from the northwest and the swell from the north that was building, it was particularly rough copping it on the beam.
10:30 at night, 25 knots of wind. We're in a shipping channel, or just outside the shipping channel now, and we've got this fuel starvation problem again. So either there's a problem with the pickup, or there's some gunk somewhere in the fuel that we haven't been able to clean out. Poor old engine just can't get the fuel through, and the fuel's otherwise clean. So anyway, we'll put some more fuel in. We're going to try and pump it through, and then hopefully poor old Porty can run. It's not his fault if he gets crap in the fuel. Well, we survived. We got in about 1:15 last night, and there was a boat in our marina berth. So we just basically grabbed the nearest marina berth, which was the one here. We've contacted the marina this morning. They've said, look, the boat shouldn't be there, but we're fine to stay here at least for today. Why? Because it's still pouring with rain. I don't know if you can see outside, but it's pretty ordinary out there. And last night was, well, we'd call it sporty. We had 25 to 30 knots the whole time. And the problem though is that you go from deep water to shallow water and the waves really start to crest up. And if you've got any current against that, they get even higher. So it was a bit of a rough night at the end of a 20-hour day. But we're here. We've made it to Brisbane. We're making good progress heading south. We've got our good friends Ken and Megan here, which we'll catch up with tonight. And we can get a few little boat jobs done and basically prepare ourselves for the trip further south and then off to New Zealand.
Next up, how to check in and out of countries when sailing.
How do you organise to leave one country by boat and enter another country? Immigration, customs, the captainery.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and share it with your friends.